It's that time of year, the time of year when the investment and trade and business pages are full of predictions about the year ahead. Now, in one or two previous years, I have actually been bothered to go back and have a look at the previous year's Almanac style forecasts to see if any got it right or how wrong the wrong ones were. Generally, those who were right were sort of vaguely on track, and you could argue that anyone could have come up with most of what they came up with. Look, for instance, at Rishi Sunak's 5 pledges or predictions or whatever last January. One or two were on track, but you could argue that they were going to be anyway. And the problem is always what a Prime Minister of very long ago famously called events, dear boy, events, which tend to change and shape everything. Now, the most interesting recent January we could actually go back to is that of 2022. Everything economically and investment-wise looked pretty fine and dandy, and we'd recovered from COVID. Everything had soared after the crash of 2020, and then came the double whammy of Putin, yes, and then Truss, and what whammies they both turned out to be. So what might this year's whammies be? Well, one of them is kind of unravelling as I speak in the Middle East, so oil could come back on the agenda in a big way. The others are elections here and over there. But of course, it's the unexpected that we need to expect. If you're a client, you'll doubtless have heard me say time and again when talking about you and your investments or pensions that there's always something to worry about. And that's true in any year or years you might want to go back to. The thing to bear in mind if you are worrying about your investments is that those who can influence whether they go up and down, the markets, are not necessarily worrying about the same things as you. And to make money, they need to look still further ahead at, for instance, when interest rates will start to come down, which they will, or if you're an ethical investor, when governments and others realise that they have to get back on track for climate change, which again, yes, honestly, they will. After 2 years of not making much money, my only prediction is that we all will again, and quite likely sooner rather than later.